Hey guys, Brad here. Today we're going to take a look at some tools by Simon Tools. Now, full disclosure, these guys sent us these products and they're sponsoring this video. And a big thanks to Simon Tools because I really do like these things. So let's take a closer look at what they gave us. For starters, we've got some stair gauges, which we'll get into. We've got two different types, a round one and a hexagon style one. We've also got an adhesive bit holder, and we have screw-on bit holders for the Gen 2 and Gen 3 Milwaukee tools. So these are really cool. I love them. Speeds up my productivity. A big thing for me when I'm using bits is I tend to keep them in my bib. I usually keep them down here and they get lost because each slot is a little bit different, and sometimes I lose a whole bunch of bits. Even these small ones like this size, I tend to put in here and you can see it kind of gets lost. I got to push it up. I really like these. Now this is the Gen 3 model, and it is for the Gen 3 impact, the Gen 3 drill, and so on. And this is really nice. It screws on the right hand side right here, and it's formed to fit your impact or your drill. And this is all magnetic. So the bits are held in here magnetically, and they just pull out. Super easy. So if you want to switch your bits, pull it out, slap that in, pull one of these little guys out, and there you go. Now for me, I typically don't use these little ones, but they are handy to have. I typically like to use this style of bit, just a little bit bigger. It's been great for me. I find the reason why is because these little guys for me, they always get stuck, or they're magnetic and they get stuck on the screw. So that's why I typically don't use this, but I know a lot of guys like this style, so it's perfect. So you can fit 3 across the back, 3 across the front, and this piece right here is magnetic. So if you had screws or extra bits, you can just throw them on here like that. So it's super handy. It's nice and slim and compact. And that's one thing I like about this. I find also giving my impact to my workers, they've got all the bits. They don't need to go back to the trailer or back to the shop and look for a Robertson or a Phillips or a Torx bit. They're just all right here on their impact or on their drill, and there's no excuses. There's no time wasted or anything like that. So that's one nice feature about this. Now this is the Gen 2 model, which is identical, except it just fits on a little bit differently. Gen 2 model fits on the drills, the impacts, the surge, all that stuff. So exactly the same as the Gen 3 model. And it says up here Gen 2. This one says Gen 3. So that's how you tell the difference. And just buy the appropriate one for your tool. I'll leave links down below for all this stuff if you guys are interested. And make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notify bell. It really helps out the channel. Let's get to the stair gauges. So these are really cool. These are anodized. They are stainless steel on the knob here. And this is an anodized aluminum. And I really like these because they are held on here with a little tiny carabiner and they're on a mount. So I have different brands and I always lose one of them, or it falls to the bottom of my bag or something. This is nice because they screw right on. So you just undo the screw. There you go. You can see the hole that it threads through. So you just pull them off. Super easy. There you go. So depending on what style you like, if you like a straight edge or if you like more of the rounder style, you've got options. Inside, they've got a little piece of rubber so it bonds nicely to your square. Now you can also use these on speed squares. You got about a 1/4 inch gap in here. So this speed square is actually quite thin, but this will fit on thicker ones like the DeWalt version or other ones. You can use it on here if you're doing some repetitive measurements or angles. You know, if you just want to be consistent, it's right there. And this is great if you're training someone, or, you know, if you just have a whole bunch of repetitive cuts. It's right there. It's easy to use. Mostly we use these on larger squares like this 2-foot framing square, and you know, you're doing some stair stringers. These are perfect for that. You can just set them on here, no problem, just like that, nice and quick. They're just like most stair gauges, you know, they screw on, but these have really nice machining on them. This is all stainless steel, so it grips nicely. You can easily use gloves with this. And then again, this is all aluminum that's been anodized. So it's got a nice feel to it. They're solid. They don't move. They don't fall off. They're on here really, really nicely. So that's what I like about them. And again, when you're done with them, you just throw them back on your carabiner and you're good to go. So I'm keeping a set of these on my bag as well as just in my trailer, so I've always got them. So then next we got the round ones. Same idea, same construction. They just screw on and off like this. pretty much the same except for the shape. These are really nice too if you need to be sliding along. It really comes down to personal preference, what you're used to. Do you like the round ones? Do you like the hexagon ones? The hexagon ones are nice because they've got that flat edge, so you know you're getting right tight to the wood. The round ones are great because you can slide back and forth easily, so you know, whatever you pick. Now lastly here we have the 3M adhesive bit holder. This is really cool. It's a nice piece of rubber. It's molded so it's in this curve, and they've got 3 magnets that are inserted inside. On the back we've got some 3M tape. Now this one here is perfect for drills like this. This is the DeWalt XR Impact. Now it's got a nice flat surface. I'll grab one of these drills so you can see. For example, this is the DeWalt. Which one is this? This is the 996. These are perfect because the DeWalt has a flat area here, and this just sticks right on. Perfectly fitted to the curvature of the drill. And DeWalt has a lot of drills that have this sort of flat area. With the impacts or the drills with Milwaukee, can't put it over on this side because you've got the branding there so it won't stick. And I'll just grab another one. Here, you know, it's tight. I haven't stuck it on here. Looks like it'll fit no problem, but it is a tight fit in there right over top of your decal. And this model here, this is the 3404. This is the Gen 3 model. But having it on impacts is great too. I'll show you how it works. Basically it's magnetic, so your bits, literally you just throw them on there. Totally magnetic, fits perfect. And you could throw screws on top as well, just like that. So you don't have to use it in the way it's intended. It's so nice, especially if you're up on a ladder. That's where these things come in handy. You know, you're up on a ladder, you're fumbling around with bits, maybe you drop one, so you got to back up. Or if you've got some screws, you're doing some gutter work or soffit work or something, you just throw them on there and you're set. You don't need to be carrying around a big pouch all the time. Super handy in that regard. And I've been using this for quite a while now, and this has not come off at all. It hasn't budged. Just make sure when you are sticking these little adhesive pieces on your tools that you're cleaning the surface, and then you're pushing it down. Let it sit. I let mine sit for 24 hours. Let that glue cure, and it's going to make a big difference in the longevity of this. I find the 3M tape, it's a great tape, but if you just start using it right away, sometimes it just doesn't bond properly. Gotta let it dry and do its magic and adhere to that surface. So another thing I like to do with the Gen 2, I always like keeping a 1/8 drill bit on me. Having this style is perfect. If you ever need to do a quick pre-drill on something so you don't want the wood to split, this is a handy way. I like keeping this on the drill, not so much on my impact because I don't use my impact for drilling that often, but this is a really great way just to have, you know, a pretty common size bit, because a lot of the times we're using number 8 or number 10 screws. I tend to use GRK screws a lot, and you don't need to drill or pre-drill holes too much, but it is really handy to have. Again, these Simon tools are super handy. They've really changed sort of how I work, just because it's speeding up my process. Being able to have bits right here, not fumbling around, especially for those small jobs. That's where they come in super handy. Obviously, if I'm up on a ladder or on scaffolding or something and I'm doing a ton of work and I've got my pouches on me, I've got bits and all that kind of stuff, but having them right here for quick bit changes is just really nice. The other thing I like about them is that they're magnetic and I don't have to force the bit in there. You know how we get those tool bit holders? Here's a perfect example, the DeWalt. You know how these things fit in? And you really got to pull them out, you know, and then you got to push them back in. There are other brands out there that have that style. I like the magnetic style because it's just quick and easy, and you're not having to force anything in there. So it just speeds you up, and it's just less chance of, you know, slipping one out and dropping it or something like that. That's a feature I really like, is the magnet. I think it makes these things really nice to use. All right, again, a big thanks to Simon Tools for giving us this stuff. I really enjoy them. They are awesome little gadgets to have as additions to your tools. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notify bell, and give me a thumbs up if you're liking the video. Until next time, keep on crushing it, and we'll catch you later.